Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of Terraform. My name is Tia from DevOps Easy Learning, and today we'll be going through Terraform resource reference. I mean, we'll kind of see how we can reference a resource to, like, let's say we create an EC2 instance and we kind of want to also get an elastic IP, want to create also an elastic IP and attach to that EC2 instance. How can we reference that and so on? Let's kind of jump in. If you click on this Terraform, it is going to kind of open my GitHub repository where I have some little exercise that I will be using. And also I'm going to put the link to this GitHub repository in the description of this video, so that if you want to kind of go ahead and follow exactly what I'm doing, you can go ahead and do so. Now, let me click on the first example here so that we'll see what is in there. When I click here, we can see here that we have a Terraform block here, and here we kind of have the provider, and here this is the code that you're just going to create an EC2 instance. And usually I like to kind of look at this using my VS Code. Let me go ahead and kind of pull up my terminal, and I have this code already downloaded. 1 second, let me type my ZSH to move to a different shell. And if you type ls here, I can kind of move into code here, where I have that code, and that's the right path where it is. If you type ls, this is exactly the root of this GitHub repository. And I will go ahead and kind of grab this path and move to my terminal. And I'm going to move to this path here, say cd, and put a path and ls. Right here, I have all those examples that you guys will see in GitHub, and I can type code dot to open my VS Code here, and we can look this in VS Code. I like it like this. Now, if you open this, as you guys can see with all the colors here, that's good. Here, I can explain this already, and here we just have a little code here that is going to create an EC2 instance. As you guys can see here, I kind of want to create another resource here, which is an elastic IP, which is just a public IP in AWS, right? And how can I reference that in this EC2 instance? The way to do that is just to, if we get here, when I create an elastic IP, how can I tell Terraform that it is this EC2 instance that I want to attach this elastic IP? That is where I say instance equal. If you guys can see here, we say AWS underscore instance, which is this dot example dot ID, which means please go ahead as we create an elastic IP and make sure that you attach that elastic IP to this instance. And that is how you are going to reference this resource in the elastic IP, so that Terraform will go ahead and attach an elastic IP on to the instance. Now, if you check another example here, in this example, basically we are just going to create a VPC here with this SATA block, and here we are going to create just one subnet, right? And when you are creating a subnet, we also need to tell Terraform what is the VPC ID. As you guys can see here, we are trying to reference the VPC ID here. Whatever name that we have here should be the same name here. And what are we taking in here? We are getting the VPC ID. And also here, we can kind of create an EC2 instance, right? And when we create this EC2 instance, we have here the AMI. What is the subnet ID? We reference the subnet ID from this block of code. As you can see here, AWS underscore subnet, which is this dot example subnet, which is this dot ID, which made from this block of code, we want to get a subnet ID, and here the output, right? If you go ahead and click on the last one here, because I'm not going to go through all this, right? This is another one here. That is, we're just going to create an EC2 instance. It's just a duplicate of what we have seen already in the first video, right? I will just go ahead and click on another one here. With this one here, we have a data source here that will go ahead and kind of grab the latest AMI in any region where we want to deploy. And when we grab that, we also have a block of code here that is going to create a security group. And when we are going to just create a security group, and here we kind of hard code the VPC ID. This should be something that is basically in my AWS account, right? And here we're just going to open port 22. That means inbound traffic, which means ingress. We want to open port 22 and also port 80, and egress, that means outbound traffic. We want to open our ports. And let's see how we can kind of reference that here to create an EC2 instance. Here we have the instance type, the AMI. Now we are using the data.aws.ubuntu.id, and if you guys can check in the data source, let me open this one to the side. You guys can see the data.aws.ubuntu. We want to kind of get the ID of this AMI. This would dynamically grab the latest AMI in any region where we want to deploy, instead of us kind of going in there, picking the AMI version by default. I mean, it will grab anything that is kind of Ubuntu 20.04, right? And it will make sure that if you want to deploy in any region, it will go ahead and grab it, instead of ops going here, go to AWS console, grab the AMI and punch it here, right, which is not really good. And here, the VPC security group ID, we created the VPC ID here that we want to attach to this instance, and this is basically the way that we are going to refer that. That means we can go ahead here and kind of reference it, right? Here, the VPC security group, we have AWS underscore security group underscore AWS underscore security group dot example, which is this one here, dot example, and we say dot ID. It will go ahead and create this EC2 instance, and it's going to attach this security group. And we basically just have one subnet here. This subnet, it should be something that I know for sure that I have it in the region where I want to deploy this, which is the US East 1, and it will go ahead and get the latest AMI from there, and it will use that to fire up this EC2 instance, guys. I'm not going to kind of deploy, I'm not going to run anything here to kind of show you guys how it looks like in AWS, but you can go ahead and do so. But just make sure that if you want to do so, make sure that this subnet ID, that you grab something that you have in the particular region, like US is one where you want to deploy, and also make sure that this key is available there. Or if you have another key, you make sure that you can put your key here, and you can go ahead and deploy. Guys, this is it for this video. I don't want to go through all the examples. You guys can continue, right? I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.